A very gracious welcome to the enlightened youth of this country. मैं Anam Ahmed from the platform of Pencil Box Education आप सभी का स्वागत करती हूँ द हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर एनालिसिस में. आज है 28th August 2018. So what are we waiting for? Here we go. A brief little introduction about who I am, where do I come from. So I've done my graduation master's degree in psychology from Delhi University. Have all kinds of experiences in online and offline teachings. Have also been a part of Vajiram and Ravi's initiative for people taking up psychology as their optional subject, and also I've made an independent course on studyiq.com again for people who are opting or thinking about taking psychology as their subject to write their UPSC mains or their state services mains. And also genuine people are invited who have who have an innate quest for the subject. Alright, so this will remain the pattern of our discussion, starting with an amazing, inspiring quote and ending on a map practice question. So let us see what do we have here for us today. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. I mean, this is very genuine quote. This is something which we have actually experienced in our day-to-day lives, that it is a very basic human nature, a human tendency to actually stay in two kinds of clouds actually in the person's life. One is with respect to the past life that you have already experienced, and one is with respect to the future which you anticipate in your life. So this is actually our basic nature, that we have a tendency to live in past or in future, but very few of us are actually focused in our present. Today, what I have to do, see the amount of hours that you have for today, which you can plan it out well, so that your future is all dependent upon the decisions and the choices and the plans that you have for your day to day. So always have the focus. You always need to have that paradigm shift in your perception, that your focus should not be on your past, whatever happened in your past, or in your future, what may happen to you in your near future. We should very much plan our day, which is currently you are experiencing right now. Build up your plans, build up your strategies, focus upon what you need to do. Have a diary you must have maintained, the targets. I don't advocate people who make timetables and stuff like that, but I do expect people to have a target list for the day. For example, my target list is I have to cover this many portion of GS, then current affairs, then I have to write one answer writing, and I have to solve 10 MCQs on this. So this is my target list. Before sleeping or before going to bed, I need to complete this very much thing. So yeah, a target list is a very appreciated move that you need to maintain, you need to have, you need to plan it for your day to day. And also a very brief you may have a weekly plan, because you also need to focus upon what you are actually aiming to achieve at the end of a week or at the end of a month and stuff like that. So yeah, you do need to take in some strategies, build in some plans, so that it can really amend your future. It can really make your future better, because it's very important that you learn from your mistakes of the past, but then keeping your past alive in today's time is just not right. Emotionally intelligence principles are just so much against it. So this is how you're going to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon so that you never miss an update from Pencil Box Education. And I'm so sorry for a 5-day delay. I was on a very important trip to Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, the beautiful state of our country, and it's almost called the Switzerland of our country, and the heaven on earth. So yeah, I was very much traveling, and I had some work that I was involved in there. So I had all my plans to not delay the newspaper thing at all, but unfortunately the internets were shut down, and because of the Independence Day and all of that, the areas were not having internets working that well. So whatever has been lost so far, it's on me. If I'm not able to record a lecture on it, I will be making a PPT or your newspaper thing, or the editorials summarizations and stuff, that you might get it in the links That is given on the Telegram groups that you are required to join. The links are down in the description below, so you just need to download the app, that is Telegram app, from your Play Store, and then follow the link, or just type @PB Education. You'll get the group and just join it. So I'll be sharing the links and all of that, PDF links that you might just download and keep a tap on whatever we've lost. I will try to cover that. All right, and this is the FB page that you are required to like it effectively and be a part of the family. Help me grow so that I can also bring in more content, freshly brewed content for you, especially that can help you prepare your current affairs, which has like increasing demand and importance with respect to competitive exams. So let us see what editorials we have today to focus upon. Reality check. Reality check is actually talking about the whole notion of simultaneous election that our country is actually experiencing. Chief Election Commissioner of India has actually denied the entire concept. He's saying that the country isn't really ready for something like that. So we'll be focusing some points out of it. A long campaign. This is actually talking about a change in political wind in the country of Indonesia. So nothing of that nature that really, it requires us to actually focus upon. So you just need to locate and revise your map practice country, which has been there in your past days. Where is Indonesia located? Which are the smaller seas which are encircling around it? And Andaman and Nicobar Islands distance from Indonesia is also important, and Malacca Strait or Makassar Strait or Celeb Sea. So these are Bali Sea for that matter. So you need to just revise your map practice question with respect to Indonesia. And the next article talks about always a peacemaker. Here we have to really maintain silence for bow our head in a lot of grief because we've lost a very dynamic political face of our country. He's Atal Bihari Vajpayee. We saw a very unfortunate. The country actually saw a very unfortunate death of his. He died last week, and he was actually old and ailing. He had crossed the 90s. Of course, it was a very natural death, and he was quite ill. He was actually serving his last days in AIMS hospital. So the entire, all the political parties, all the political people, even the citizens of India, even the citizens of Pakistan have actually paid condolences, have actually extended grief, has actually reached out publicly to express their grievances, and in the manner they've actually got disturbed. The way we've lost a very, positive, a very encouraging figure in politics. He was a good face in politics. He was a good face in bad politics. Politics are actually known for bad things. So he was that good face. He was that lotus in the keychad, which we can say that he was doing quite well when it comes to India and Pakistan relationships especially. So he's actually known for a lot of decisions he has made when he was serving his tenure as a foreign minister and also as prime minister of our country. So we'll be focusing few facts upon it as well. The Chronicle of Collaboration. Here we are talking about some attack on cultural preservation of cultural feeling and stuff, and here is one singer who was actually he's actually accused of using some of the Carnatic music with some Christian music and stuff like that. See, they are actually taking the constitution in their hands. We are free people, and people are, all the extremists out there in the state are actually claiming that the person had actually mixed Jesus' name with Ram's name. So all of that is a part of a fake news. Appreciate the music, appreciate the collaboration, appreciate the mix of cultures, appreciate the manner in which the person has actually studied the two cultures for that matter. So don't mix the politics in it. Don't always fear that your culture is actually declining or it is actually mixing foreign elements in your culture and one day it will get extinct. The whole drama is around the ego of the culture. That culture might extinct. It is an attack on my culture. The culture will get diluted. The culture will not spread and stuff like that. See, talent is something else. Music is something else. Politics are something else. But on the ground level, one should always think of of secularism, of socialism, and not of a feeling which can actually encourage a divided India. So yeah, this article is not very much important for us to dwell upon, but yeah, these were the only highlights out of it. Sovereignty and sensitivity is about the change of politics in the country of Bhutan. They are our neighborhood country, so we'll be focusing some points out of it as well. Here, the plight of slum people is actually discussed by the article writer, so we'll be focusing upon some of its points. This article is not at all required for us to focus upon, because today is Monday and the editor-in-chief of the Hindu is replying some of the letters which the readers have actually written to him, so it's not something of our concern. The first article talks about the reality check of implementing simultaneous elections, which the government has actually advocated a lot in the recent years. I mean, this idea had emerged since, I think, very popularly since 2016, when the NDA government had come to power. They really want this change to be implemented in the 2018 Lok Sabha election, and they want the Legislative Assembly's election to happen simultaneously with the Lok Sabha election. And the whole idea has been dropped, the whole idea has been rejected, the whole idea has been like waved off by the chief election commissioner O.P. Rawat, and he is saying that the country is actually not that ready, because we would need more of the EVM's machine to operate in the areas, and also voter verifiable paper audit trail, that is called VVPAT. If we are actually aiming to implement this pan India. So yeah, that is something which we have to really see that as coming to us, because whenever we are talking about simultaneous election, these two are the eternal and most important things that has to be implemented on the ground level, and many of the states and assemblies are not having such provisions. So Mr. Rawat had also pointed out that if we are actually implementing such a move, we need an amendment in the constitution as well, and also a wide political consensus as well as legislative cooperation is also required between central government and the state government. So far we have 29 states and they are also independent, and whenever the amendments have to be done in the election thing, we need to take their approval as well. So yeah, if all the states are ready and stuff like that, you need to also ask them what views do they have on this issue. Plus, it would be far more, the article writer is actually compelling us to think in the direction that it is far more productive for political parties to actually focus upon various other issues which are lying ahead of simultaneous elections. I mean this is one aspect in elections. So if you really want to improve the entire system of elections which is like happening in our country, so you need to focus upon other electoral reforms which has been kept pending since a lot of time. Ages, 2-3 decades, these election reforms have been actually waiting for approval. For example, to check upon the corruption money which is actually used to fund these political parties and election expenditure is one such area that we need to actually put some impositions upon. And the whole idea of campaigning and how much of an MLA or an MP is actually involved in the campaigning times and stuff, and the false promises, the manifestos, the money used, and the violence which we see in some part of the country. So how are you going to deal with those things is something which should be there in your priority list, rather than focusing upon stuff which is not of that much of importance. All right, so here a little brief information about simultaneous elections. So it happened in our country after the Britishers left us, and we were enjoying our independent country in 1951 to 52, the first time our country witnessed simultaneous election in the center and the states legislative assemblies. 1957, 1962, 1967 were again 3 years wherein we witnessed the same phenomena. But in 1968 or 69, we can say that the chain had broken, because we had witnessed premature dissolution of some of the state legislative assemblies that triggered a breakage in the chain. 1970s, the Lok Sabha also itself got dissolved prematurely, so they were not able to keep paper tap. Keep us a very good synchronization between state assemblies and the central government. Also we need to focus upon some of the positives and the negatives with the simultaneous elections, which the policymakers have been debating upon. The positive points are actually the reduction in the expenditure budget, because Lok Sabha's election campaign can be clubbed simultaneously with the state and legislative assemblies election, because all of it is happening at the same time. So we cannot, we won't be having expenditures happening again and again. Also, frequent elections do affect the governance. This is the negative point out of it. So we had the positive that this will bring down the expenditure. The negative is that it do affect the governance. I would say that how it is like, because there are again two notions in it, that it affects the governance. One say that it is affecting governance in the sense that if we are having a party which is getting selected for 5 years at the center and as well as in the state, so this will give them a very overconfident feeling that whatever, we are the kings for now and we do not have an opposition at all, and then all the states are under our control, and then for 5 years we can do whatever we want to do, and there's no such thing called check and balance thing which is happening at the government level. So the negative on it is that it affects the governance in the sense that if the political parties are getting selected and they win the elections, for example, in the 5-year tenure of the Narendra Modi government. So we had few states in which the Congress had also won. So this actually gives the central government, which is in power, a reality check that what is the wave which we see in the country right now, like Karnataka. In Karnataka, Congress had won against BJP and stuff like that. So it keeps on giving them that shock. So they are always on toes, because lot of states will be having their elections during their tenure of 5 years. So that's how they cannot just sit back and they don't have to really worry about anything and stuff like that. So yeah, this is one of the negatives which we have witnessed. So the second point actually talks about the positivity is that it brings stability in the government policies that have to be implemented. All the election duties, one time the duty has to be done by the police personnel or the army personnel or any other rapid action force and stuff like that, because of course election campaigns are one such activities which we see around the election date. So it really brings a lot of, disturbs the peace of the area. So election duties will be held only once whenever the election month is happening. And the negative is again, frequent elections is good for political parties and stuff. That's why we do not really have to advocate simultaneous election. And also lot of Indians, I would say 70 to 60% of the Indians aren't that much educated who really knows about the political histories and their leaders and their manifestos. They do not have that much of knowledge. So for example, they are very much pro one party, so they might choose them at the center and as well as at their state without knowing the facts and figures correct. So this is also one such negative against the entire notion of simultaneous elections. And when we are talking about Election Commission of India and Chief Election Commissioner, so we do need to brush up some of the points, like it is a permanent and an independent body of our country. It is a constitutional body. Election Commission of India is a constitutional body. It is independent and it is permanent body. It was established under the Article 324. And it is common to central and the state. So what are the elections which is actually being monitored by them? So they monitor the elections to the parliament and the state legislatures and office of president and the vice president. Okay, so they are actually focusing upon their elections. Also the composition, so you have one chief election commissioner along with 3 other election commissioners. They are appointed by the president of our country, and condition of service and tenure of office is very much decided by the president who is appointing them. One chief election commissioner and 2 election commissioners receive equal salaries allowances similar to SC judges. All right. So, two chief election commissioners. So that makes 3-member body. All right. The term is almost like 6 years and 65 years of age, whichever is earlier. So that is how we need to like keep on revising Lakshmikant in between whenever we have the time and the mocha. So always a peacemaker. We are talking about the great face of politics of our country, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So he was actually very much appreciated with all the policies, with all the plans that he had to unite India and Pakistan on various issues, especially with respect to the Kashmir issue and also the disputed Shimla Agreement. This is your background analysis question to tell me what was the Shimla Agreement with respect to India and Pakistan relationship when I talk about Kashmir issue. So he had commented this very neutral, very positive statement that I'm trying to forget my past and I urge you to do the same. So we need to come out of that post-British era and talk about today's time and need, and also look after the citizens who are or the local peoples who are living in the state of Kashmir, and we need to very much think about their upliftment and rather than solely talking about your political means. And also that United Nations Human Rights Commission meeting which happened in Geneva in 1990s. So it was very much to discuss the India and Pakistan relationship, which actually soared up to a very, very bad level, I can say, when we had the 2 wars which we fought with Pakistan in the 1960s era. The bus services was actually inaugurated when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was actually serving his term. It was started between New Delhi and Lahore. So he inaugurated this during his visit to the country of Pakistan. The Kargil war was actually fought in the 1999 era, and this actually ended with the signing of Agra Summit. So you need to tell me, as a part of your background analysis question, some of the highlights of the Shimla Agreement and the Agra Summit of July 2001. So he also went to Pakistan in 2004 as a Prime Minister of our country to also attend SAARC Summit, in which Pakistan had actually promised that its land, Pakistani land and territories will not be used to fund and give shelter to terrorism so that they can launch attacks on India. So this was a very big promise which Pakistan made from its side. 9 out of 14 Prime Minister is recorded. It is a recorded number that 9 out of the 14 Prime Ministers had never visited Pakistan during their tenure whenever they were in power. So it is like a huge number. Not even 50% of our prime ministers went. So who all went? I can say that 5 prime ministers went. So the little bit of PhD done by the article writer says that whichever government had the absolute majority in Lok Sabha dared to cross the border and go to Pakistan. For example, Jawaharlal Nehru or Rajiv Gandhi or Narendra Modi government, who had really enjoyed the absolute majority in Lok Sabha, and they were not in some of the coalition government. But when we talk about Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who was an exception, so even if he was serving his prime ministerial tenure and he was in a coalition government, so he had visited Pakistan twice, as he was very, very much focused to mend ties with Pakistan, keeping the interest of India as well, also keeping in mind the plight of the locals of Kashmir. If I talk about the ground reality in Kashmir, it is very much saddening. It is such a beautiful place. It is blessed with natural resources, natural scenic beauties. The tourism potential is just so much high there, and the locals actually deserve more money which they can make out of the tourism. But we have the whole problem of insurgency or terrorist attacks, or I can say the role of military which is present everywhere, and you also have restrictions. I recently came from Kashmir, so I can share some of the experiences with you that you do need you are very much bounded with the time limit you can visit Gulmarg or Pahalgam, for that matter. After 4 or 5 p.m. in the evening, you're not allowed to travel on the major highways or roads, so it gets blocked. Plus, the role of media is also very much questionable in these areas because they kind of exaggerate the entire situations there. the extremists, the insurgents are never attacking the tourists there, because tourists are considered as gods there, because it's only us, because of us, that their industry is actually blooming, and they are making good money out of the tourists, which is like visiting them. So the tourist vehicles are never attacked. So I do compel people to come out of their homes and please make a plan to go to Kashmir. It is called the heaven on earth, and it is surely is that. I mean, you'll forget those valleys of Alps or European countries when you go and have a chilled out day on Dal Lake, or it is Pahalgam or Gulmarg or Sonmarg. I mean, life experience it is. So the media portraying the entire state as being on high alert or being on curfew every time, and you have all sort of death threats and stuff like that. No, it is not at all happening like that. You'll never be attacked by a terrorist organization or any extremist or any insurgent, because they do respect tourists out there, and they are very much tourism friendly people. Even the locals would reach you out if you are in some kind of problem. So yeah, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the pencil box education team really respects him. We pay our condolence to the family and to him, and we really hope that his soul rest in peace, and we'll always remember his contribution to India. And he was that positive, noble man in politics, because politics is always considered a bad term, but he was actually a good example when we talk about politics. So a great loss to India, I must say. Sovereignty and sensitivity is actually talking about India-Bhutan relationship. We have a change of politics in Bhutan very soon, which we'll see when we see the change of government happening there. Border Roads Organization was actually making up a road. It is called Project Dantak, wherein Indian soldiers, Indian men were actually mending or helping the government of Bhutan to make that road, which is called Project Dantak. So we had actually put our Indian tricolor flags in the area. So that had really hurt their sovereignty, the Bhutan's sovereignty. So we need to really I can say discourage such moves. So also the Doklam standoff, which we saw of 73 days, in which Indian army personnel were present in the Doklam region, and Chinese military was also present in that area, and the Chinese actually claimed that part of Bhutan as their own territory and they want it back, and Bhutan claims that it is our territory. And so we had that Chinese aggression seen in that area, and we were actually compelled to send our armies with the permission of Bhutan's government, because we are always very much suspicious of Chinese activities in the chicken's neck area of our country, which actually connects the northeast with the rest of the India, with the rest of the states of India. So that is a very narrow stretch, NH31 I guess it goes there, and Chicken's Neck is a very narrow area which connects both of these areas. So yeah, we do not want Chinese interference in that area at all, because it will take just few moments for China to actually cut off northeast states from the rest of the states of our country. So yeah, Doklam was very important for us. Debt trapping is one such issue which our neighbors have been experiencing when we actually observe the amount of money they have actually borrowed from China. So debt trapping is very much witnessed in Nepal or Pakistan, Maldives, Sri Lanka. So they are in heavy debt right now. So the country needs to come out of that. Also, goods and services tax and demonetization had actually really deteriorated the trade which we had with Bhutan. And also China is one force that we really need to keep a tap upon, because they are actually very much I would say influencing our relationship with our neighbors. So let us see what do we have in the near future that we can discuss upon it. So for better slum policies, here we have to talk about the condition of slums, which we have witnessed very frequently in and around places we've been living, whether it's Delhi or any other area of our country. So a recent survey which was done by some NGOs with the help of United States of America's agencies. So our conditions, the slum conditions in India is not very much new, that I can say it is very alarming and bad, and it needs policies and implementations and programs and attention, whether it is housing problems there or the debt and socio-economic stagnations which the people have been experiencing, or no concrete figures has actually made very much, I can say it is actually a problem whenever a policy has to be created or imposed, because if you do not have a correct figure, if you do not have a correct statistics that you can follow, which area is doing better and which areas are doing worse and what is the problem like. So they do not have figures, they do not have any statistics that they can follow and see and keep a tap on, or they can build their strong policies on that. So also some leaving them very much vulnerable when it comes to the facilities of education or vocational or social or health emergencies. So they have been lending money very much illegally. I can say that they do not approach bankers because they are not very much banker friendly. They are not that educated. They are not that much aware. So they kinda informally lend money from their own employers and stuff like that, and they usually return that money at a very higher rate. So they have no knowledge about the banking systems, and they are like, it is like very surprisingly the entire rich is living here. See, these are the rich people, very developed in education wise, I can say they are very much knowledgeable people living here. And you have, like, when you cross a road, you'll have houses mushrooming the areas like that. They have that colony, it's like you cross the road and you see the reality of India. People are living in bad conditions, suffocating, no sanitization, no clean drinking water, diseases are emerging and erupting, people are dying at early ages, children are wandering the streets and not going to schools, all sort of bad activities, all sort of sad activities that I can actually make a list of is found just when you cross that road. You cross that road towards right, you find rich people living there, and you cross that road which is the dividing line of the city, and you cross that road towards left and you'll find the real face of India, which is like 60 to 70% of India is living, because the gap between the rich and the gap between the poor is just so high. The rich is very rich and is in our country, and the poor is very poor in our country. So it will be the humblest request to everybody out there that if you have money above a certain level, a money which is in excess, so you need to keep aside some of your money in donations or NGOs or social service, or target shelter homes, target orphanages, target shelter for women who have been a victim of heinous crimes in our country. So little bit of your money out of your pocket can actually help someone build their life. So till the time we do not take the personal responsibility, I don't think so India can ever see that golden era of development. A case can be made for a nuanced slum policy rather than a one size fits all approach. Here the article writer is saying it is not that one size can fit all the places. You need to understand individual areas' problems, target it effectively, and not one policy or general policy can cater all the problems and needs which is arising from the ground level. So slums resembling tented refugee camps need housing and basic amenities very much. Health, water, clean environment, education, a permanent roof, because they are the only people who are living like that on the streets, and they are not very much protected against the catastrophic events like floods or heavy rainfall or severe winters or severe heat strokes and stuff like that. So we really need to focus upon areas like that. So when you become a responsible administrator of the country, so please do work upon these issues in your district in your district specifically. So here we have a NABARD survey. It is called All India Rural Financial Inclusion Survey 2016 and 17. here NABARD has actually give us some alarming issues that a lot of outstanding debts have been experienced by the farmers of our country. It is like you earn 10 money, and out of the 10 money, 11 money you have to 11 rupees you have to give to someone. It is something like that. Whatever you earn, you have to pay as debt to someone. So our farmers are in heavy debt when it comes to agricultural households or non-agricultural households. The condition is the same, and we have a significant amount of farmers who do not have a valid Kisan credit card, and all of the debt is with respect to the capital expenditure they have to make when it comes to agricultural activities. Capital expenditures, for example, irrigation cost, or cost of the seed or HIV seeds which they take, or fertilizer, or any other facility they have to actually build for the cultivation of that crop. So capital expenditure is the major issue that these farmers are actually getting indebted, and that too from informal sources like money lenders, their employers, their big traders and stuff like that, and they are not at all approaching banking systems and keeping some faith in that, because when you take loans from a very formal channel, you tend to be affected less, and also you get loans at cheaper interest rates. So we have southern states of Telangana or Andhra Pradesh or Karnataka. They are having alarming numbers when we actually talk about indebtedness. Telangana has 79%, Andhra Pradesh has 77%, and Karnataka has 74%. And the states of Arunachal Pradesh, again, southern states have this problem at a very larger scale. Then we have the northeastern states which have these issues very much, like Arunachal Pradesh or Manipur. All right. So these states really need some of the mechanism that can really check upon their debt-taking activities whenever it comes to money lending. What does the falling rupee mean to you? Recently, we had actually, came across articles which were addressing the issue of depreciation of money, wherein I had explained you that depreciation of money means that the value of money is actually getting decreased with respect to the foreign currency. So whenever that situation is happening in our country, so countries' import become expensive very much, because the reason is simple, that you need more rupees to pay for the same amount of material that you are actually buying, and the exports come cheap. This is actually a problem to us, because we need to make more money whenever we are exporting. You are a businessman and you are exporting salt from India, so you need to make good money with that. So whenever depreciation of money is happening, your export will become cheap. So this is actually harming your business very much. Plus inflation is one such thing which gets very much heightened, and it really leads to the increase in prices, because we are very much import dependent country. We are always in trade deficit. Our imports are larger than our exports. So we are very much dependent upon the import materials in our country. So whenever there is the depreciation of money, so imports become quite expensive. So that's how a lot of goods which are present in our country gets very much high with the prices. The only plus point which we can see is with respect to the tourism, because whenever the country becomes cheaper, the money becomes cheaper. We have depreciation of money, so a lot of European people or Central Asian people or Middle Eastern people or United States of American people, they are very much willing to come and spend their holidays in India and enjoy our beaches, scenic beauties, and etc. Also, this is your background analysis question to tell me in the comments section down below that depreciation of money's impact on GDP of the country. What is the impact of depreciation of money on our GDP per se? So we have a news from our neighbor country, Pakistan. Imran Khan has been he just witnessed the swearing in ceremony, and he became the new Prime Minister of Pakistan, and everybody is happy. They are ringing bells and they are excited. They are very much optimistic about his manifestos and the promises he made to the both nations per se. And we had the guest who was called in the swearing in ceremony of Imran Khan. He is the ex-cricketer of Pakistan, and we have Navjot Singh Sidhu. He visited Imran Khan, and he was a part of that swearing in ceremony, and he was also criticized for various moves like hugging the army chief of Pakistan, where a lot of army personnel have been dying on the border and stuff like that. But yeah, The talks should be on. They should never get broken. We should encourage SAARC. We should keep on visiting each other's country. I mean, I had also discussed it in my previous lectures that the talks should never ever break. Even if you hate each other, even if you do not want to build peace, or be it any other reason, but the talks should never break. So from 3 years, I would say that the talks were not conducted at a very nicer level. So we do have optimism emerging out of that meet. So we have a good news coming from the 18th Asian Games happening in Jakarta, Palembang. Where is this present? You need to tell me in the comment section down below. Where is this present on a world map? So tell me the country's name down in the description below. So we have won a bronze medal when it comes to shooting, and we have a gold medal brought to us from the Asian Games. So we have won a gold, so it is a very proud moment for India. So congratulations to all the participants. Therefore, and also good luck for further games they'll be engaging in. So we have the birth anniversary of this very amazing leader of our country, Rajiv Gandhi. He's a Congress person. He was a Congress person and son of Indira Gandhi, wife, husband of Sonia Gandhi, and father of Rahul Gandhi. So he was brutally attacked and killed in the state of Tamil Nadu when he was actually on an election rally, and the terrorist organization who had blown him off in that election rally was LTTE. They were actually involved in a lot of problems which our country had been facing with respect to Sri Lankan wars at that time. So Sinhalese, a community which was living there, and the extremist groups which were living there. So Rajiv Gandhi had some role. So all of that is dependent on you, whether you are interested in tracking a little bit about his life history and stuff. So it is always better that you do that. So read a little about Rajiv Gandhi and his contributions, and we really are happy that he was born on Indian soil, and he was a very great pilot as well. Before joining politics after the death of his mother, she was also attacked by some Sikh militants. So he was a very inspiring man and filled with life, a very courageous person. He was a pilot in Air India, and then he joined politics, and all of that happened. So just read a little about his life histories. It's always good that you read about good leaders, inspiring leaders, and take good things out of them. Humongous means huge, gubernatorial, relating to a governor, particularly that of a state in the United States. Prodigy, a person who is guided and supported by an elder and more experienced or influential person. He is the godfather in your life. Blasphemy, the action or offense of speaking sacrilegiously about God or sacred things. Conflagration, an extensive fire which destroys a great deal of land or property. Map practice, as a part of map practice question, continent is Asia, country is Tajikistan, it is its capital Dushanbe. Does India share its border with Tajikistan? This is your map practice question that you need to tell me in the comment section. Which of the following Central Asian countries do not touch Tajikistan, that you have to actually see, observe on a world map, and tell me in the comment section down below. Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan. Which of these countries do not touch Tajikistan at all? Towards the end, I would say stay tuned to Pencil Box Education for more videos and updates. Do check the links down in the description below of the Telegram, of the Facebook page, of my Facebook profile, that you do not need to send friend requests, but do follow me. And please, that is my humblest request, that you please join the Telegram group, so that I keep on updating you with a lot of links and PDF links of these PPTs which I make. You can download it, make your own monthly magazine modules, and it is very easy for you to revise then. And do give this video a big thumbs up if you really like the way I deliver content and knowledge to you, and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so that you never miss an update from Pencil Box Education. Please, I seek your support in this cause. This is my email address that you can use to connect to me personally, plus the comment section you can use. Thanks a lot for being a patient listener. Do your background analysis question daily. Be happy, stay positive, spread love. That's the most important thing. Signing off from Pencil Box Education. Jai Hind, and thank you for watching.